Hi, everybody. I am just going to get April into the room. There she is. Hi, April.
We did
We
it.
did it. We made it happen. We are live on Instagram for our first
Yeah.
live.
All right.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. So, for all of those people who are watching us, hi, Julie.
Hi,
Um,
Julie.
I guess we're going to start with just a brief introduction about um, each of us and who we are. Do you want to do you want to go for our first? Do you want to start?
Why don't you start because then
Okay.
I can go into the who we are
Okay.
thing too.
Okay. I'm Allison Kalshed. I am one of the co-founders of Not Your Mother's Menopause, and I am a women's personal trainer, a women's strength and fitness coach in Maplewood, New Jersey. I have been doing personal training for 11 years. It's a second career of mine, and it is something that I love very, very much. And oh, I have
We have
Sharon. I know, and Kim. I'm so happy that you guys are here.
nice.
It is the
Welcome.
profession that I love, and like I said, I work specifically with women. I'm very lucky to have been working with a really amazing group of women one on one for a really long time, and we have gone through a lot of life's phases together and finding ourselves in this phase of life, this perimenopausal transition, has led me to really, over the last year and change, to really explore what this means for us not only personally, but as women in the gym, and even further, which led me to want to do more and hence start up something like Not Your Mom's Menopause. So um, that's, I guess, a little bit about me. I'm
Yeah,
sure if
that's great.
anybody has questions, you can ask.
We're here. We're live.
We're live. Hopefully, we'll figure out how to read them and answer them, but
I am able to see them. I'm trying to swipe up, but as I'm seeing them, I also can't see my own face, which may be a good
no,
thing.
it's
I don't know.
no,
Uh,
it's beautiful. I can see
well,
it is on
thanks.
your face.
It is on my face.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we got some hearts.
Well, thanks.
Aw.
Uh,
And Linda
so
Kessler is here.
welcome,
Hi,
Linda.
Linda.
My name is April McKenzie. I am a marketing executive for an entertainment company. Um, my personal journey through perimenopause and where I am right now is the reason that I really got started and more interested in what this is all about. Trying to find other people who were sharing in some of the same things that I was going through. I decided to start a private Facebook community, originally called Perimenopause It's For Real, because it is. Um, but then through the course of our Allison and Stacy are their co-founder, who is enjoying her low cortisol levels away.
She's very low
so
cortisol right now.
so jealous.
So
Um,
jealous.
we decided to change the name of the Facebook group to Not Your Mother's Menopause to be more consistent with the overall brand. Um, so yes, Allison is my personal trainer, and we were talking a lot about this for months and months and months. And she had been talking to Stacy, and before we knew it, we were planning an event called Not Your Mother's Menopause and creating a brand all at the same time.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. We started talking for those for anybody who doesn't know, we started talk like our for we started having these discussions in 2023, December of 2023. And I had an meeting with Stacy, and this was before we roped you in, I think, in Stacy's conference room in her office in Milburn. Stacy's the owner of 5 Point Physical Therapy, and she has and when I say conference room, it's small. Like it's like not it's a conference room for like three people. And we were sitting there and just talking, and we were like, yeah, we could do an event. We could have we could use this conference room. We could have like five, six people. We could have like a lunch and learn. And that was, that was how it kind of started. And then, seeing, having all those conversations with you and seeing what you had built in your community on Facebook was just a natural progression
Hmm.
to having us all together. Um, and so we built this. Do you want to talk a little bit about what we wanted, like what our goals were with
Yeah,
Not Your Mother's Menopause? With the,
yeah.
yeah,
So as I mentioned, there are three of us. It's Allison Kalshad, who's in the fitness industry and an amazing fitness strength trainer and coach. And
hi Cal.
um, got somebody else.
Yay, Kelly.
We have Stacy Futterman Torriello, who is a pelvic floor PT and started 5 Point Physical Therapy. And I already introduced myself. So the three of us are the co-founders of Not Your Mother's Menopause. And if you didn't know, our mission as a brand is to arm women with education and accessible community-based resources while eliminating the stigma surrounding aging and women. And, as we started through this journey, it seems like the world exploded with menopause, and it is, very hot right now.
No pun
Um,
intended.
right. Um, the space is getting increasingly crowded. However, I think as we look back on the year it took us to plan this and where we started and where we are now, we really figured that we're unique for several reasons. And they are that we're fully sponsor funded. So our event was fully funded by sponsors. We are a grassroots organization, meaning, we're in the community, speaking to our community, and our event does the same. Our sponsor programs are providing a platform for local female entrepreneurs and outside
And
of the area, but mostly local.
yeah,
And our event brings national, regional, and local experts together to share information with the community, which was our key goal for the first event. And if you didn't know, there is going to be another one on January 11th, 2026.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of the goals that we really are striving for with this next year is to get our branding out there and to really solidify our place in the menopause space as a key player and really helping boost our sponsors around us who helped us bring these events off the ground, lift these events off the ground. We really are looking to also diversify our audience. So we, as you know from us being on an Instagram live, and if you have been following us, we have been pushing out more content. We really want to get more active and um, build more of our brand and reach more people with information about us and things we've learned. Also bringing people that we've met along the way to come and speak. So really diversifying not only in just the people we're bringing in from other places, but also making sure that everything that we offer is accessible.
Yeah. And we just had Ms. B join. Hi, Ms. B.
Hey, Ms.
Hey,
B.
Ms. B. I like Ms. B. I like saying it. One of the things too that's very exciting and that we're actually going to announce here right now, we haven't even announced this yet, which is that we are so excited to announce that Dr. Sharon Malone will be returning in 2026 as our keynote speaker. We
Hey.
are thrilled because we are, I guess, just in love with her. I mean, really, I think we are.
I mean, she is pretty amazing.
She's
And now
pretty
she's
amazing.
also like, talking to Oprah. So
Yeah. So we're like Oprah
we love
adjacent now.
that.
Yeah.
We are. We're Oprah adjacent. Yes,
Yes.
Oprah is our
We're
adjacent bestie.
Oprah. But I wanted to talk actually. So people who are watching should definitely feel free to um, send us any questions or any, I know it's great, Kim, I know, questions or comments about what we're saying or questions. I mean, definitely we're not doctors. We're only going to really be speaking about things that we know about, which are our personal experiences, and that's it,
Oh,
and oh, we lost you. But
sorry.
I wanted you to talk, April, if you wouldn't, if you would, to talk a little bit about going back to founding your Facebook group. I
Hmm.
mean, that really is the base, that is so much of the basis of what we're doing with Not Your Mom's Menopause, is really forming community and working, we're, like we said, like you said, working within our community to serve our community, but really you created this group, this community that grew um, into a big group. And I wanted to
Hmm.
just know how it helped you.
Hmm. That's a really good question. I really felt so the group started very, very small, but it actually grew fairly quickly only because there were so many women within one of our local moms groups that would post about these symptoms. And I mean, 400 comments later, you're like, wow, I'm not alone. So it really helped to initiate conversation. And from almost the very beginning, it was very active, and people felt comfortable sharing. It's a private group, so it's only for those people who are going through this. Um, Certainly to ask questions. And that's where I actually found this new community, which was really important to me, especially during the pandemic, because this is
Mhm.
when everything exploded, which, of course, why not? Um, and it helped connect me to other people, especially when I was feeling very alone and confused. And if you've heard me speak about this at all, full of rage.
Yeah,
Um,
the
so
rage.
the rage. So it really helped ground me, and as I started learning things, I wanted to be able to share them because it was really hard to find accurate information, and I still didn't actually know if what I was finding was accurate, but I did find a few people on Instagram, yes, and social media. I did find that, but they seemed very knowledgeable and were sharing studies and research that helped me understand better what my options were, the symptoms, making it feel like I was actually normal, even though I
Yeah,
felt like crap.
yeah.
Um, yeah, it definitely helped connect me in a way that I couldn't be connected in the physical sense of the word with COVID.
I want to just jump in for 1 second and answer a question that came up from KM Piccola, otherwise known as Kelly. I don't know if I'm allowed to like say that I know your first name if you're trying to be incognito, but sorry. Um, Kelly asked how important are DEXA scans
Ah,
and where can we obtain one in New Jersey? I want to chime in, and important, I can't like speak as a doctor to how important they are, but I will tell you that there's a lot of there's there's a lot of like misinformation, I think, about when you're allowed or when you're supposed to get a DEXA or a bone scan. My own personal experience was I had heard like, oh, insurance won't cover it until you're over 60. And I was like, well, that seems ridiculous. So I went to my doctor and I said, I want a prescription for a DEXA scan. Like, I want to know where I am. I want a baseline. I was 54 years old. I feel like from everything that we've learned about bone loss and the trajectory of bone loss in, in the perimenopausal transition and estrogen's role in that, I wanted to get a baseline. So my doctor was like, yeah, sure, no problem. And she was like, do you have a family history? And I was like, yes, I have a family history, which I do, which wasn't a lie, but that I think was how she could code it so that my insurance wouldn't raise a red flag. I mean, I do have a family history of it. So I went and she wrote it for me. I went, obviously I went, and my insurance is lame, and I have a really high deductible, so I have to pay a lot for it. Um, and so I think they're very important because you want to know, and I think I would say, as somebody who went to this and then had very surprising results of my bone density was not good, and I was extremely surprised. Um, and I would say that especially if you have family history, because I do believe that if I'm on a group of one, a scientific group of one, that there is family history and that it is a genetic component. The earlier you can go, the better to see where you are, and so you can track it. Because when my results came back not so great, my doctor said, okay, don't panic. We know that you do all the things, you lift weights, you do all the things. Um, let's see where you are in a year now that you're on estrogen. And once that, she was like, let's give the estrogen a year to work and see, not that it's going to reverse it, but just to see the progression or what's up, the regression
Regression, bone.
or the crumbling of the bones. So Kel, I think especially if you have any family history, ask your doctor to prescribe you a bone scan and get your insurance, do it under your insurance. And it says where can we get one in New Jersey? Any imaging
I did it
place can
at
do it.
Summit.
Yeah, I did it
Summit.
at Barnabas. Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of places, and it's actually plus two, Allison, because I too got my DEXA scan done after I had a stress fracture, and knew I had low vitamin D, and also family history on both sides, my mom and my dad. And yep, same thing. Ran for
Mhm.
years, exercised for years, thought I was doing everything right. And I mean, you were there when I got the results. I was sickened by the fact that I was already at age 51, osteopenic in both of my hips and in my lumbar spine. And one, it was even osteoporotic. So it
Yeah.
was mortifying to hear that, but I'm so glad I did. And they really aren't that expensive. So even if your doctor refuses to code it as postmenopausal, because that's probably what they will have to do in order for you to get one covered, it's
Yeah.
worth it. It's 100%
I
worth
think
it.
mine coded it as perimenopause. It actually came up as perimenopausal,
Oh,
which
okay.
was
Mine,
cool. I was like, that was kind of
that's
cool.
awesome because mine was coded as postmenopausal. I'm like, that's not really the case, but okay, sure, whatever's going to get me in to get this done.
Yeah, and Kim just chimed in and said that she had a very positive experience as well at Barnabas, and she actually was able to schedule everything, her mammogram and her ultrasound, all on the same day, which is great. And I'll say that the bone scan was like the most pleasant of all the scans,
Yeah, you
because
just
you
lay
really just like
there.
lie there for 15 minutes. You don't even have to I didn't have to take my clothes off.
Yeah, it's
It was
great.
great. It was great. Which,
So Julie was
complete must.
actually just asking, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but there's another
No, go.
question here.
Yeah.
What are some good weight bearing exercises if you can't lift weight because of frozen shoulder, but need to because of osteoporosis? That's a hard one.
I know, but lifting, frozen shoulder, there's all sorts of degrees of frozen shoulder, right? So you have to obviously, just like with and frozen shoulder is the thing that happens. Like, I cannot tell you how many women I work with who have some shoulder pain. The shoulder is a very complex, a super complex
Plus
joint, and
one.
it's like plus one, and it's like the first to get to go, as soon as we start with our reduced inflammatory response because of our lower estrogen levels. It's like, oh, let's attack the most complex joint. And we I see it all the time. When we talk about weight bearing exercises, it's not, you don't have to do this to be bearing weight. You don't have to be having dumbbells or a barbell or something in your hands and lifting it over your head. You can be doing you can walk with heavy weights in your hands, so if you can hold it, depending on how your shoulder is working, you can, if it's impossible for you because it's too painful to actually like hold dumbbell, even if you're just holding it down at your side or holding it, like this and doing a squat or something like that. If it's totally impossible, you could wear your weight. I know that there's always this discussion. Recently there's a lot of discussions about what are they called?
Weighted
Weighted
vests.
vests. I saw weighted vests. And that's a great way to add weight to your body, to add a little bit of resistance. You can also use bands for resistance if you wanted to pull a band or do something with a band, maybe if that was a little bit more gentle, depending again on how your shoulder feels. But um, weight bearing is really anything that is just over your, I mean, your body weight is weight bearing. So like I know that there are people out on Instagram, I've seen other trainers coming out saying things like body weight is not weight bear, doesn't count as weight bearing exercise, and I actually disagree. Like I'm not saying these people are wrong. I actually disagree because I beg anybody to do a push up and not feel like they're bearing weight. Okay? So, you know, working with the weight that you have on your own body is a great way to start. You have to start there because you can't add weight to whatever exercise you're doing until you can get the exercise, the form of the exercise down, or you're going to get hurt, right? So,
And that's the last thing we need is injury because we are more prone to it with our estrogen levels dipping.
yeah,
So it's really important to
yeah,
be careful with that.
yeah, 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 definitely. You get a nap. No, Kel, it's not long enough to get a nap. Only 15 minutes.
It's more like a cat nap or a quick rest.
It's like, well, okay.
I
You're
don't
lying
know.
down. I mean,
You're
you
lying
can't
down.
do anything.
It's a rest.
Oh, yes,
You're
came on.
resting your um
Hi, yes.
sorry, your one is thawing while the other is freezing. I know that's really frustrating. It's jumping around your body. That's very frustrating.
Very frustrating. Um, April, I'm going to go back to the Facebook group, and I just want to see if like you could talk about some of the things that come up the most in that group. Like what kinds of conversations happen? What do you think? What do people want to know more? And hi to Tanya or Tone Tonya. Sorry if I
That's welcome to anybody who's just joined.
yes.
Um, a lot of what I keep seeing is questions about who to go to if you're interested in HRT. And it's really a two-part answer. The first part is it should start with a conversation with your gynecologist, only because there are options for and solutions for vaginal help. And really, because it involves your ovaries and estrogen, it just makes sense to start there. An endocrinologist is another option too. A lot of people don't have an endocrinologist though, because you really would need to have one if something else was going on. Wouldn't necessarily be the first stop. But with your gynecologist, the one thing to keep in mind is you really want to make sure that they are at least familiar or willing to have a conversation about options tied to perimenopause or even talking about perimenopause and not just brushing it
Yeah.
off. And sadly, that happens a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to use the word gaslighting because I think a lot of doctors mean well. They just, as we continue to learn, just didn't get this education. There are some that 100% are gaslighting, but there are others that just don't have the information or have the old information from a WHI study from the 90s that misinformed America and beyond that HRT causes cancer. And we know now that that is not actually true. And I'm just summing it up very quickly. There's a lot more to it than just what I said. So anyway, I would definitely start with that. There is a place you can go to see if there are menopause certified doctors. Um, it's NAMS, it's National or North America Menopause Society, and there is a section where you can actually find providers based on your zip code. It isn't necessarily up to date all the time, so
Yeah.
it still will require a conversation with your doctor. But that's the best place to start. So that's one of the most common questions I get. Um, and then certainly just a lot of conversations about HRT and whether or not you can take it while you're in perimenopause versus waiting until you're in full menopause. And that is absolutely not true. If you are having symptoms, you should be able to get help. This is a systemic issue. It is not in your head. So you can start getting treated if you are open to and your doctor is to hormone replacement therapy. 100% can take it during perimenopause.
Hi,
And
Jean.
I see,
Jean just came in.
hey, Jean, uh,
Leanne.
I'm sorry to hear your endocrinologist doesn't do HRT. Well, boo on that. That's the thing that I see people encourage others, because there's a lot of conversation happening amongst the community members is thank you next, as Ariana Grande says, you don't have to stay with that doctor. Go find somebody who will have a conversation with you. And that's so frustrating that you really have to work hard at this. But
That's what
we've
we
got to be our own
do.
advocates. That's what we do. We figure it out. We self-diagnose because no one
Yeah,
else will.
yeah,
Um, so anyway, that's a lot of what I see, as well as unpredictability around when you're going to get your period, when it's going to end.
yeah.
Um, yeah, the story.
Symptoms. Yeah,
Yeah, and
like
a lot of the
people having,
symptoms.
like, is this happening to anybody else?
Hmm.
Just being able to, Yasmin Photo just asked, did we hear that her MD is going to do virtual now? We did.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did. We know that they are changing to a totally virtual model, so we're curious. I mean, listen, we're big fans of her MD and the people who founded it, groundbreaking for women's health, what they did. So their next chapter should be fantastic, and I'm super excited to see
We're really,
to see.
yeah, we're really
Yeah,
excited to see them succeed, and that they found this next chapter very quickly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's true. It'll be great. It'll be really good. Yeah, I mean, I think too, I just want to go back to the doctor thing. Like I remember saying somebody telling me once that and this woman is a doctor and she said to me, she's like, and this was years ago, she said perimenopause is just a word that was just made up. She's a doctor. Perimenopause was just made up. It's like you're either in menopause or you're not it or you're not.
It's not true.
I know.
That is not
I know.
true.
I
And
was like,
it's
you're either
that
done with
kind of
your period or you're not.
conversation. And that's the difference between not being educated about it and
Yeah.
gaslighting, because you're making women feel like they're dumb or they're making it up,
Yeah.
and neither of those are true. So, wow, that's really disappointing that you went through
Yeah.
that.
And and I think one of the another thing about finding your doctor and being your own advocate and having these conversations is also, some of us have long-term relationships with our doctors and we may be disappointed in a conversation that we had with them a few years ago, but maybe reopening if you still like that doctor. So it's like this thing in your head, you're like, but they don't seem to be paying attention to what I'm saying, but I do have this long-term relationship. So being able to reopen that conversation with your doctor and see if there has been an evolution, because doctors are humans too, right? Like we all evolve and learn, and there's new information coming out, and you want your doctor to be evolving and learning
Mm-hmm.
what, the science is saying or what the new research is saying. So you know, if you're put off right away and it is a good relationship, you can definitely have that conversation with your doctor and say like, well, these are the things I've read. Would you be interested in reading any of them and maybe giving them a book or something like that? So,
That's right. It
yeah,
is, it is, it is coming to your appointments being armed with the information and what you really want to get out of it.
yeah,
That seems like a very business type of transaction approach, but it really is going to be the best way for you to get directly to what you want, which is, if this is what I decided I want a provider who's going to support that and not make me feel bad about my decisions, and also be open to it and open to learning more. So, I totally agree. Going in with information, research studies, whatever it is that you can pull together. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. As long as you trust that person and they're open to having that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Um, okay, Allison,
Hey, bro.
I want to talk about your fitness journey as a trainer.
Okay.
Um, you did mention that this was a second career for you. You you only train women, correct?
I do. I only train women. That I started when I first became a trainer, that was not the case. I had a bunch of male clients, but I just quickly developed into wanting to only work with women. I really felt that that was, I don't know, I just obviously for obvious reasons and maybe not so obvious reasons, just felt a connection with working with women, and becoming a personal trainer had um, really grown out of a personal connection with. I had been doing triathlon for a number of years, and um, how that sport affected my life really, and then like just expanding that on how a commitment to exercise and fitness affected my life. It was something I was like, I wanted to be able to be a part of that part of people's lives, like to help them really see how um, forming this habit. It's really not even a habit. It's just really incorporating. I like to think of it as just incorporating fitness
Hmm.
as part of your lifestyle. It's not, it's like non-negotiable. Like some days, yes, are better than others. Like the same thing, food. Food is non-negotiable. And some days you eat better than other days, right? Exercise should be the same way. And, we live in a world in which we don't move very much. So, being able to work with women on the physical aspects of it, and being a trainer is much more, and this was one of the biggest surprises to me about becoming a trainer. Being a trainer is a lot more than just telling people what exercises to do and counting, because as you know, April, I'm not very good at counting. But
Neither am I sometimes.
yeah.
That's okay. We can't be perfect all the time.
But the relationship, like being able to be a part of somebody's life on the level that I get to be a part of somebody's life with as their coach, as their fitness coach, is really amazing. It's a real honor because there's a real vulnerability. Like people coming into this space with me, people coming into this space with me. I know, Kelly, you know that I can't count. And Tammy has joined. Hi, Tammy. Um, is people are vulnerable. I'm asking you to move in new ways, and especially if we've just started working together, or even if we've been working together for a long time, like you have to really put yourself out there when I'm saying do this with this much weight in your hand, and you're like, I don't know, am I, and you may not, you may feel awkward, so you've got to feel safe. So the fact that my clients feel safe with me and that they share their fears and their vulnerabilities with me physically and emotionally as well is it's pretty special. Like it's a really intense relationship. It's a really unique relationship. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I agree that it's definitely a safe space. You make a very safe space for that.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Um, do you have a particular age group you work with, or is it just more evolving?
I have a I like to say that I work with adult grown up women. Like I will not work with teens. And I generally, and think this is just by nature of sort of where we are and who I am. My youngest clients are right now in their mid late 30s, and I have no cap on how old you can be to work with. I have three clients actually right now who I work with who are in their late 70s, which is just fantastic.
Awesome.
Um, Julie just asked a really good question. She said, I just started HRT. Would either of you
Mm-hmm.
be willing to share your experience if you're on it? Did you notice an immediate relief of symptoms?
Mm.
We're both on
Oh,
it, so
yes.
we can talk about it.
True story.
Yeah.
I would say I was Julie just talking with Allison about this morning that I really did not notice a marked difference. I mean, yes, in the hot flashes, those went away immediately, as did the night sweats. And I was having a hot flash at least once an hour. It was a lot of
That's
fun.
a lot
Um,
of hot flashing.
so much flashing.
And
Um,
Meb Watson just joined. Hi, Meb. I'm just going to call you Meb.
oh,
Do you know Meb?
Mebs.
I want to call
Yes.
Meb.
It's Margaret Elizabeth Black.
Oh, hello.
She's one of my friends from way back
Hi,
when.
Meb.
Anyway, I that definitely changed, but like the joint pain and the brain fog and the anxiety, it all seemed to just kind of hang around. But what did happen is when I started getting the hot flashes again, I went up 0.25% in my estrogen patch. And then when I had a chance to reflect back, and this was over a year after I started, when I reflected back, I realized how much better I felt overall. I didn't have joint pain anymore. The brain fog was better. Um, Aside from some vitamins and supplements, as you have seen, potentially, that helped with fatigue. But a lot of this stuff, it was very cumulative. And I kind of knew that going in, that it wasn't going to be like you stick a patch on, hey, I feel awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe it happens for some people, but that is not what my experience has been. And I don't know about you, Allison, if you felt more immediate results.
It's funny. Like I actually had, I wasn't suffering from the hot flashes and night sweats as much because I had been being treated by with Chinese medicine and acupuncture for my hot flashes, well, for a number of things, but my acupuncturist Caroline Radice was actually able to, she got rid of my hot flashes. Like I've like literally
That's
don't I
amazing.
don't have I never had hot flashes. I had really bad night sweats, and then the herbs have really helped me with that. And we were actually just talking about it today, how the one time that she took some ingredient out, some herb out of her witchy herb stew that she gives me, that was, and then I was like, why am I getting hot flashes? She's like, oh, I didn't put that herb in there. So, but then when I went on the hormones, and for me, there was an immediate, like, miraculous, I had one of these things where I was like, this could never actually happen, but I had been having really bad gut issues, which I never thought were connected to hormones at all. I was like, I went down I'm going to be gluten free, I'm going to be dairy free. I did all the things. I'm not, and I was just miserable. And and then I put the patch on, and literally 24 hours, I was like, oh my God, I'm not
That's amazing.
in pain anymore. And then, so that for me was like this, like immediate kind of feeling like this is having an effect. But yes, like you were saying, it's been about a year, and there has been a cumulative um, effect. I did notice that my mood was better. I did notice that I wasn't having heart palpitations in the middle of the night anymore. But just very recently, some of these things have started to kind of rear their heads again. And I'm sort of just starting to wonder. And Jean just mentioned too that she's like wondering if a higher dose would help. And and April, you and I were talking about it this morning. It's like, okay, where am I? So for me,
Mm-hmm.
because this is all, and granted, things in the world right now can also be producing a lot of anxiety. There's lots of things
Mm-hmm.
going on for me, I've decided that what I'm going to do is just give it a little bit of time and just see. And then if I continue to sort of feel like uh, the things that were helped by my estrogen, by my HRT right away, if they start to sort of things start to roll back into the picture, maybe I'll give my doctor a call and have a conversation with her. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and the thing too, Jean, one of the things I think that's so confusing is like, would a higher dose help? And really, sometimes the only way we know is like if you
It's
try it,
try it.
right?
Yeah.
And then like if you feel like crap when you do have a higher dose, then you go back down, right? That's what I imagine. I mean, I would think that that's because I don't think there's any harm in trying. I mean, I was nervous to start HRT in the beginning anyway, because as a kid, as a, as a younger woman, I had been on uh, oral birth control, and I hated it. And I was very afraid that I was going to have that same feeling, right? So I was like, no. And then my doctor was like, try it. She was like, why don't you try it? And if you don't like it, you don't have to do it, and we can do something else. And she was right. So there's just like all this anxiety, like this health anxiety, this medicine anxiety. What if I take it and I feel worse? And you don't take it anymore.
Yeah, I do think it is about trial and error, and that really is it for everybody too, because there is no right answer or exact science to it. It really is about balancing it out for you personally. So for me, it's the estradiol patch. It is 200 milligrams of micronized oral progesterone every day. I used to be on like a 12 days on, 12 days off, or 20, whatever the
Yeah,
math
yeah.
is, the first 12 days of every month. I also now I'm on testosterone, topical testosterone, and that combination has made me feel very good now. Sleep is better. Those issues that really hadn't fully gone away on the lower dose of the estradiol patch did improve after I shifted, I bumped up. But again, that's just me. And if you have a doctor who's familiar with this, is experienced with this, they're going to work with you to find the right balance of whatever you feel comfortable taking. And there are other alternate options if um, hormone replacement therapy is something you're afraid of doing. There's acupuncture and what
Other
else?
supplements that you can
Other
take. Yeah.
supplements. Yeah, different, yes,
Yeah.
non-hormonal supplements you can
I
take.
mean, look, your
So
friend Meb, Meb said that. I just want to call her
Maggie.
Meb. Like now she's my best
Okay.
friend, Meb. My bursitis, she says my bursitis, ankle cracking, and shoulder pain went away overnight. Like
That's
it's like
amazing.
crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
It's awesome that it happened so quickly. I wish it could be that way for everybody, and that's why you can't be frustrated if it doesn't happen right away,
yeah,
because it will for some and it will not for
yeah,
some, but cumulatively it will over time.
yeah.
Um,
Gene, what you said? What are you? Okay, so April, you wanted to,
uh,
what dose?
yeah, I'm on 0.075.
And I'm on 0.025, so I'm on the lowest. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Kim was also saying that
Sleep
her,
issues disappeared quickly.
yeah,
Oh wow, 3 days for that. Yeah,
yeah,
that's I'm so jealous, but that's amazing because no one wants to walk around with ankle cracking and bursitis. Like it's just really frustrating. Oh,
well,
hang in
well,
there, Yasmin. That's hard. I know it really did take a while. I mean, I'm talking like over a year before I felt the joint pain, which I know can be discouraging, but hopefully that's encouraging. If you are still in this situation where you're not feeling any better, you may want to talk to your doctor then about upping your dose. I don't know if you're on a patch or what you're taking, but certainly worth having a conversation if things are not getting better.
does
Because every
testosterone help with the joint stuff too?
It's kind of helpful in a lot of different areas. It helps out with fatigue. It helps out with anxiety. It helps out with joints. It helps out with maintaining lean muscle mass. Um, it's also because, and I didn't know this until very recently, your body does actually take testosterone and change it into estrogen.
That's amazing.
So that's actually additional estrogen you're getting, but you're getting it through a different form of a hormone that we all have in our body. Again, we all have testosterone in our body. This is nothing new to our
Yeah.
bodies. And no, we're not going, I mean, look, I don't know everybody's symptoms, or side effects, but I have not seen hair growth in weird places.
That's why I
You
took a
haven't seen
scare.
my beard yet. There's no beard yet. Um, Nothing there.
Good
And
Lord.
and it has helped in a lot of other areas too. I will tell you that were very added benefits.
Issues getting patches refilled. I know that I'm sure that there's like a supply chain issue because all of a sudden
Mm,
more and more people. Um, where do I get mine from CVS? I'm on a regular
I get
auto
mine on
refill.
CVS.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
and it's generic. I don't know. It's some people use like the Dottie patch or something, but I mine's generic.
I don't even know what mine is. It's just estradiol. Like,
Yeah.
I guess it's just generic. There's also like places like the HRT Club
Mm-hmm.
that might be something to look into. They're a membership club that you still see your doctor. It's not like virtual medicine. It's not telehealth, but it's just for the filling of the hormonal for the prescriptions for your hormones. It's called the HRT Club, and I think you pay a monthly fee,
Mm-hmm.
and then you pay per month or whatever. I don't think it's very expensive. I've never actually looked into it. I haven't really dug too deep. They were a sponsor, and they were a
They were
great
a sponsor.
company,
Yeah.
and they're really really great people. So that's something, and they're Jersey based, Jersey. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Morristown, right?
yeah, they were
Morristown?
Morristown. Yeah, it's a specific testosterone gel to ask for.
Mine is generic. I think it's all generic. But I will say it's in these little tubes, and you have a tube, and depending on what dosage you are on, I have to go 10 days with that same tube. So I don't real it's still a
That's because
rather
it's just for
inaccurate.
men.
Exactly.
It's a tube for men, and women have 1/10 of the testosterone in their
And
bodies that men do. So
it's one
yeah,
tenth of
it's not,
it's for that's
yeah,
right.
it's not approved for women. South Orange
And
Pharmacy had the patch when CVS was out. Yeah.
oh,
Okay.
that's great. Great.
I once
Yeah,
did
so
drive to Summit to get mine though. They were out once, and I was like, call around and find out where it is,
yes,
and I'm gonna go.
because I
I
don't
was
know
like,
if you're like me. I tend to kind of wait till the last minute when I'm like, "Oh, this is the last patch. I need a
don't you
refill."
get it on? Put it on auto refill in
But I mean, that's
CVS. Go.
only if I have refills left.
Yes, but they'll automatically talk. All right, we can discuss this, but I think CVS will automatically reach out
They
to your
do.
doctor.
Yes, they will if you they will ask you if you want them to do that. And
Yeah.
maybe I don't have that setting on that. But anyway, it doesn't. Yes. Anyway, okay.
This was good. I
Yeah, this is great. Did we answer everybody's questions?
have to call around every 3 months.
Oh, who says that? Oh,
Cal,
hmm.
go to a different CVS. I go to the one near the high school.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
me too.
I live the one near Amber's house.
Yeah, because it's literally at the end of my street.
Yeah. And then I go to
Oh,
April's.
Jean,
Jean,
good
go change
job.
your patch.
Yeah,
All
let's
right.
go do that. On that
Um,
note,
we're gonna do this. So listen, you guys, before you oh, Allison, I haven't hi Allison. Nice to see you. Hi.
I see
Um,
everybody. I don't.
no, I don't like see her. I see, I see her
Yeah,
name pop up. AB
yeah, but I
songs,
mean,
Allison. I
okay.
just
I
know
don't.
her. Yeah.
I
Um,
don't see who
but we're
put
going
it
to be
up.
doing these lives every Thursday. And we would love to hear from you. It won't always just be the two of us. We will have guests. So Stacy will be back from her cortisol break. She will, I'll be sleeping sometimes, but we would love to hear what kinds of questions you guys have. You can always DM us at the Not Your Mother's Menopause Instagram at this account, and who you might want to see us chat with, what kind of topics you might want to have covered, things like that. So we definitely want to hear from you.
And if you want to join the Facebook group, it's Not Your Mother's Menopause Facebook group, and it's an invite only, so I can let you in once you answer the questions.
Oh,
Oh, one thing. And yes,
oh, is that a thing?
I, 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 I thought it was more. Was it mom? I thought. Oh, I thought there was an allergy tied to it. I didn't know it was peanut oil, though. That is really good to know.
I
Thank
did
you.
not know that. Wow. Oh, that kind of sucks.
That's really unfortunate. Well, I'm glad that you found that out, Yasmin. That's really important that you found that out before you took it. I assume you have a peanut allergy. I know, right? Like, come on.
With that, I'm going to let Kelly have the last word of the FFS. FFF, FFs, all the
Well,
Fs.
thank you all for joining and for
It was super
engaging
fun.
and asking questions. Really, it was a lot of fun. Thank you very much, and we're excited for next week.
Yes. See you then.
All right. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.